Hey, good morning. I just got back from getting a coffee. And before I head off to yoga here in a second, I just wanted to address a little topic with you all that's up for me. And I wanted to see if it resonates with you as well. This morning was a doozy. Jagman, as you know, like maybe you know, he's 14, and so he's a hormonal boy. And, I can pretty much hold space for that for a while, but for a couple of days now, it's just been like nonstop. And I've had some other stressors going on in my life too that are taking some of my energy. So on the way to school this morning, when he was acting like a little asshole to me, which is fine. I love him anyway, and it happens. He's a teenager. I kind of lost my shit, and I didn't scream or anything like that, but I do have like a different voice, the mom voice that I go into. And it is more forceful and more assertive and less like loving and kind than I normally speak with him. And I may have dropped the F-bomb. Like, I didn't say F you to him or anything, but I may have said fuck, which he hears a lot anyway. Let's be honest, but just not used in a way that's regarding a situation with him. And, or like a negative way. And as I was like processing all of this, so I immediately texted him after I dropped him at school and just said, I don't like being a mean mom. Do you like being a grouchy old man at 14 years old? I love you. I adore you. I'm not perfect. I'm accepting the fact I'm not perfect. Have a great day, XOXO, or whatever, something like that. And then, so I did clear it, like, with him, and then I kind of, because this happened, like, right as he got out of the car, so it wasn't like I could, in person, handle it, and I wanted to make sure we were good for the day, and he was free to just be in school, and play his volleyball game later. And at the same time, like, as I was just kind of still processing it, this idea came up about something I had seen a while back, that basically it was talking about regulating our emotions as parents, and that if we have those moments where we lose our shit, we just, instead of making excuses, we just need to say, oh, like, I'm sorry, I didn't regulate my emotions well. And the next thought I had, just naturally that came to me, was like, well, no, like, I did regulate my emotions well. I was pissed. I was upset. I've held space for him for all of this time with his emotions and whatever, and that's fine, and that's my job as his mom. But I'm also a human being, and when I made a very little, tiny, simple mistake, I passed one road to turn down, like the same way I take him to school every time. But we were just engaged in another conversation, and I passed that road, so I took the next road, which was literally like this far apart. I mean, they aren't even like a block away or anything. He kind of just like lost his shit on me. Okay, and I had just had it because it was an honest mistake. It was no big deal. It was going to make him literally like 1 to 2 minutes later. He was still early. And when he did it, instead of me being like curious with him and, how a lot of times I am, if he gets obviously triggered by something that's not a big deal, or that doesn't seem on the surface like a big deal, like it's usually something else, right, that's going on in his life. And I usually am really good with that, but then sometimes I'm like, no, you're just being like a hormonal teenage boy. You're just acting this way. And God, it's not my responsibility to be perfect all the damn time. I try, I do my best. That's something I've actually worked hard to let go of, or like put a lot of conscious attention into, to let go of being perfect all the fucking time, because I had so many expectations I felt like that were put on me, or that were somehow like created within myself about my life and how I should be. And you can read more about that in Worthy if you want. That's a recent blog post I did about it. But I really have done a lot of spiritual work in order to release the perfectionism and the pressure of that I've put on myself. And so that has to also extend into me being a parent, right? And a friend and a lover and all the things. But in this instance, a parent. And so as I was sitting with this like whole regulating emotion thing, it just kind of dawned on me, like, it's okay to have emotion. It's okay. Like, I wasn't screaming at him. I wasn't calling him names. I wasn't harming him in any way whatsoever. Like, I'm sure it didn't feel good, the things I said to him. But I also wasn't saying anything about him or being mean. I was just saying, like, look, no, I've had enough. Like, I've done all of these things for you. You're not going to be late. Da-da-da-da-da. It's enough. Enough's enough. Cut the attitude. And I may have dropped the F-bomb. But the truth is, those were really raw and true and honest emotions that I was expressing. And it was a reflection of me regulating my emotion, because I wasn't outside of myself and out of control and going crazy on him. When I say I lost my shit, it was like all the control that I keep all the time, just that control exploded, right? That's how I lost my shit, was like the control was totally blown apart in that moment. And the real, raw, true, honest emotion of, I have had enough. I am pissed about this. And I was angry. I wasn't sad. I wasn't anxious. I was fucking angry. I was upset by how I was being treated again, and again. And even if he's just hormonal and whatever, it's still, he needs to see that there are limits. There are limits, and that he has to be responsible for his own behaviors, even when his hormones are raging, just like I do before I start my period. So, and I can say that as a perimenopausal woman, let me tell you, it is different in perimenopause than it was before, at least for me. So, I just want to leave you with that idea of, you know, and maybe a practice of, when you feel like you're losing your shit, when you feel like you're judging yourself for somehow the way that you've shown up, ask yourself, was I showing up, or was I abandoning myself? Was what I expressed a true, honest reflection of how I feel? And did I communicate it in a way that I feel deep down proud of? Or like, God, I hate that, you know, like, I hate that that probably didn't feel good to him, or maybe his feelings were hurt when he got out of the car, or maybe he saw me in a different light because I wasn't this perfect mom who's just so caring and loving all the time to the little baby boy. Because the majority of the time that is me. I am that nurturing mama, and I love, like, I just love being that in his life. But like, he also needs to maybe see that there is this other side of me, and that I have boundaries and limits, right? And so when we are up against an experience like this, and we It's an opportunity to ask ourselves, was that a true emotion? Am I really regulating emotions well? You know, did I show up the way I want? And I just want to encourage you that if you feel good about your interaction, and if you feel good, like, don't listen to the outside noise of how you should have done it better, how you should have done it differently. There's so much judgment in the mom world, especially about being a good mom, being the kind of mom that other moms think you should be, instead of just really going inward and thinking about the kind of mom you want to be, and thinking of how you want to show up for your kid, and then letting that radiate from you in your interactions with your son, your daughter, whomever. And maybe it's different for different kids if you have multiples. I don't know. I'm real curious about that, because that would make sense to me, that you would show up differently for different children. And being conscious of what your child needs and what you need, and balancing that all. It's just such an intricate dance to be a mom. So I say, let's let go of all the judgment and the bullshit, and let's just be the best damn mom that we can be, and let's feel really proud of how we show up for our kids, and let's feel really proud of how we show up for ourselves. All right, peace, big love. I love all of you, and reach out to me if you need me. You can always check info out, what's up with me on my blog, here on the video blog. And let's see, I've got a few podcast episodes out. There's all kinds of ways that we can connect. Email, social media, Instagram, Amanda R. Bryant. All right, peace. Have a good day, mamas and papas. You too.